Archangel Michael says, your struggles with money and every weight of lack and fear tied to your finances will come to a divine conclusion after today's morning hour of 9, and by the evening hour of 9, if you embrace this call of faith and open your heart now, a blessing of 25 million will be placed into your life, yet if you turn away, all that could have been yours will slip away like water through trembling hands. Beloved, the Father in heaven is not blind to the heavy nights you have carried, the worries that have bent your back, and the moments you have cried when no one else could see the rivers of tears you poured. He has been watching every sacrifice, every silent endurance, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, and every moment you gave even when you yourself had nothing left. Today is not like other days, for today has been set aside as a holy appointment where chains of poverty will shatter and doors of abundance will swing wide. Type 666 if you believe in God's grace. You have been told in spirit again and again that your faith is a key, and yet sometimes you felt like your hands were too weak to even lift the key toward the locked gates. The truth I reveal is that God has already tilted the lock and the gate is swinging open, but your heart must not resist what heaven is preparing to pour. Just as the sunrise comes faithfully, today your new dawn has begun, and by nightfall, it will manifest into wealth and relief so great you will know without question that it was the hand of God. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to walk with God every day. Imagine the burden you carry today being lifted in a single sweep, like a storm that suddenly clears leaving behind a gentle sky. Imagine every bill that haunts your thoughts transformed into testimonies of provision, each debt that grips you fading away like shadows when light finally rises. This is the reality heaven has decided for you, and this is why the message has found you in this exact moment, for the clock of God's mercy has struck and His angels are prepared to deliver the blessing. I tell you, every trial you faced was not meant to destroy you but to prepare you for this flood of abundance. Every denial, every season of waiting, every disappointment was a chisel shaping you into the vessel strong enough to hold this much blessing without losing yourself. You are not receiving just coins for survival but treasures that testify of God's immeasurable love for His children. You will no longer simply exist in fear of lack but will step into a realm of abundance that carries responsibility, purpose, and joy. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. The Lord has set aside wealth not only to erase your tears but to position you as a light for others who sit in darkness. When your account is filled, it is not only your life that will change, but many around you will find shelter, hope, and healing because you chose to open your heart today. Your yes will ripple into homes, families, and lives you may not even know yet, but heaven knows every single one of them by name. Type 1111 if you agree. Hold on to this truth with everything in you, that God is not teasing you with a promise that will fail, for He cannot lie, nor does He offer words He will not fulfill. The enemy whispers doubt, but your spirit already knows that this message was written to pierce your fear and awaken your faith. You are closer than ever to crossing from the valley of lack into the mountain of abundance, and your step of belief right now will seal it. Think of the journey you walked through seasons of emptiness, the long nights when food was scarce, and the weight of shame when others judged your struggle without knowing the depth of your heart. God was with you in those hidden valleys, and He never abandoned you, though you sometimes felt abandoned. It was in those lonely nights that He carved resilience into your spirit, and today He crowns that resilience with divine reward. So I declare this with love and with fire from heaven: do not delay, do not resist, do not turn your eyes away. Open now, for heaven's order has been signed with your name upon it, and angels are standing ready to place it into your life at the hour of 9 in the evening. Nothing will stop it if your faith does not falter, and nothing can block it if you align your heart with God's timing. This is not just about wealth, this is about God proving His love for you in a way that will silence every doubt and every fear you have ever carried. You are chosen, and today is the day when the story of your financial pain will finally close, and a brand new book of abundance, stability, and joy will begin to be written. Stand still and let your soul embrace this truth, for by the end of this very day, your life will no longer look like what it once was. Heaven has spoken, the blessing is yours, and the time has come. You have endured years where you carried burdens silently, where money felt like a cruel master chaining you in fear, where every decision was wrapped in the pressure of survival, and yet you continued to hold on, even when your grip was weak. The Almighty has witnessed your persistence, your heart that still gave kindness even when you felt empty, and the way you clung to hope when all you could see was despair. These unseen acts of endurance have been recorded in the book of heaven, and today the answer descends like rain falling on dry ground. Do not look away, listen until the end, because heaven's answer is hidden in these words. At this very moment, angels are being dispatched to bring order to the chaos that has surrounded your finances, and the power of God is cutting through every root of lack that tried to make a home in your life. Where doors were shut, they will be opened, where opportunities were stolen, they will be restored, and where fear once ruled, peace will now reign like a gentle river flowing through your heart. This is not a distant promise for years to come, this is a blessing already prepared for tonight, for the appointed time has finally arrived. Type Amen if you believe. You will feel a shift within your spirit, a release of the tension you have carried, as if the heavens themselves are pouring strength into your weary bones. The wealth that God has prepared for you is not just to ease your burden but to lift you into a life where you can shine as a testimony of what faith can do. You will no longer walk with your head bowed in shame but will stand tall, carrying the authority of someone who has been chosen by heaven to demonstrate abundance, generosity, and joy. Beloved, picture the scene: a table has been set before you in the realm of the Spirit, and upon it lies more than just money, but freedom, security, healing, and peace. The $25 million that heaven has decreed is not just currency, it is a symbol of the Father's endless ability to provide for His children beyond anything the world could ever offer. It is the breaking of every lie that told you poverty was your fate, and the sealing of your destiny as one chosen to live in the fullness of divine provision. You will soon see doors of opportunities open in unexpected ways, phone calls arriving with news you never thought possible, and breakthroughs in areas where you had given up hope. This is the manifestation of God's timing, where everything aligns perfectly, not because of your power, but because His love is unstoppable. When He decides to bless you, no opposition can prevent it, and when He chooses to lift you, no force can keep you down. The evening hour will mark the beginning of a testimony so powerful that even those who doubted you will see the undeniable hand of God at work in your life. What they thought was your ending will reveal itself to be your beginning, what they called your failure will become your success, and what they used to mock you will become the very thing that proves God's faithfulness. By tonight, your life will be a living witness that God remembers His children and rewards those who trust Him even through the darkest storms. Remember this truth deeply, that abundance from God is not only about wealth but about healing the brokenness in your spirit, restoring the dignity that hardship tried to steal, and giving you peace that passes every human understanding. You will sleep tonight not with anxiety but with gratitude, not with worry but with joy, and not with fear but with the assurance that your Father has not forgotten you. What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. I speak to you with urgency and with gentleness. Do not doubt this moment, for it was written long before you were born. Your struggles were seen, your prayers were heard, and your patience has been rewarded. Open your heart now, align your faith with this truth, and prepare yourself for the miracle that has been sent to you. Heaven does not lie, angels do not delay when commanded, and God's promises do not return empty. Tonight your blessing will be sealed into your hands. Type 1818 to claim miracles. You are stepping out of the shadow of poverty and into the light of provision, and once this shift occurs, there will be no returning to the chains you once knew. You will carry the story of this day as a beacon for others who still suffer in silence, and through your testimony many will find the courage to believe in the God who transforms lives in a single moment. This is your destiny, this is your time, and this is your miracle. For many years you have walked paths of uncertainty, where bills piled higher than your strength, where sleepless nights consumed your peace, and where shame made you feel less than the beautiful child of God you are. Every moment of hardship has been seen and remembered, and every sigh you released in the darkness became a prayer carried by angels into the presence of the Most High. These cries were not ignored, though the silence of heaven sometimes made you wonder, for even in the stillness God was weaving the fabric of your future into something glorious. The struggle you endured was not a punishment, but a refining fire that prepared your spirit for the very gift now at your doorstep. Without the tears you shed, you might never have developed the strength to steward what is about to come. Without the waiting, you might never have learned the compassion that will now flow from you to others in their time of need. What you thought was wasted time was actually sacred preparation, and now every moment of pain becomes a seed blossoming into harvest. The wealth ordained for you is not only about numbers on paper or figures in an account, but it is about freedom from the invisible chains that held you down, freedom from fear every time you opened your hands, and freedom from despair when you thought there was no way forward. Tonight when the blessing manifests, you will feel that freedom settle into your soul like the warmth of morning sunlight after a long night of cold storms. It will not be a fleeting relief, but the foundation of a new life filled with stability and strength. Beloved, Picture yourself walking into a tomorrow where no voice of debt can accuse you, where no weight of insufficiency can drag you down, and where your mind is clear of the worries that once suffocated your joy. Imagine rising from bed with peace in your chest, knowing that provision is secure and that God Himself has become your provider in ways too vast to fully comprehend. That vision is not a dream, it is the truth that is unfolding in this very hour, written by heaven's hand and sealed with the promise of the Almighty. The evening blessing will not only restore what was lost but will multiply beyond what you imagined, for God delights in doing exceedingly more than His children expect. He is not merely answering your prayer with just enough, He is answering with more than enough, for He is a Father who lavishes abundance on those who trust Him. You will not simply pay what is owed, but you will walk into overflow, and that overflow will become rivers that bless many others who have prayed in silence just as you once did. Type 999 if you trust Jesus. Every obstacle that tried to block your blessing is already crumbling under the authority of heaven. Every hand that tried to steal from you is being restrained, and every dark voice that whispered that you would never be free is silenced. Tonight, when the decree of blessing lands in your life, the enemy will watch helpless as the gates of abundance open wide, for no power of darkness can stop what God has commanded. You will stand as a testimony that what God says, He always fulfills. Remember, beloved, the riches of heaven are not given to destroy, but to build, and this gift is meant to build your faith, your future, and your ability to uplift others. You will carry the mantle of one who has been entrusted with divine favor, and with it you will shine light into places where hopelessness still lingers. Your story will be told not only in words but in actions, in generosity, in compassion, and in kindness that springs from the overflow of what God has poured into you. As the day moves forward toward its appointed hour, keep your heart steady and your spirit awake, for the angels of provision are near, and the blessings of God do not delay when His time has arrived. Do not allow fear to creep in, do not let doubt cloud what you know in your spirit, for the Father's promise is sure, and tonight it will become visible before your eyes. You are closer to your breakthrough than you have ever been, and by the close of this day, you will know what it means to be free indeed. Hold this truth tightly, for it is your anchor and your shield. Your money problems have ended, your new chapter has begun, and tonight your life will bear the mark of a miracle that will echo through generations. Step into this blessing with faith, for it was written for you, chosen for you, and sealed for you by the God who loves you beyond measure. I see the way you have carried silent worries, holding them deep within your heart while smiling on the outside so that others would not know how heavy your soul felt. Heaven has watched as you gave when you had little, helped others when you yourself were in need, and chose kindness when life was harsh to you. Every one of those moments was like a seed planted into sacred soil, and today the harvest is ripening before your very eyes, ready to be gathered by the angels who serve at the command of the Almighty. The blessing that is being poured into your life is more than just relief from financial hardship, it is a restoration of dignity, a renewal of peace, and a testimony of God's perfect timing. For years it may have felt as though your prayers vanished into the wind, yet those prayers were being collected, stored like treasures in heaven until the appointed hour. That hour is now, and the answers you thought delayed are arriving in a flood that cannot be contained. The Father knows the pain of your sleepless nights, the weight of decisions where you felt cornered, and the humiliation of being judged for your struggle by those who could not understand the depth of your journey. He never left you in those moments, though you sometimes felt alone, and he never turned his face from you, though silence made you wonder. He was building strength inside you, shaping your faith, and preparing your heart so that when the blessing came, you would receive it with gratitude, wisdom, and humility. Type 2323 if you trust in God. This provision is not about chance or luck, but about a divine orchestration where every step you took, every tear you cried, and every battle you fought brought you closer to this moment. Tonight, as the heavens release the financial miracle into your life, you will look back and see how each trial was necessary to bring you into the fullness of God's plan. What once felt like delays will reveal themselves as preparation, and what felt like silence will shine as proof of God's perfect orchestration. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. Beloved, know this clearly. The $25 million blessing is not only about you but about everyone who will encounter the light that will shine through you. You will be positioned to bless, to heal, and to uplift others in ways that will multiply the goodness of God across many lives. The provision you are about to receive will feed the hungry, clothe the poor, and support those who have silently carried burdens just as you once did. You are chosen not just to receive but to overflow, and in your overflow the name of God will be glorified. Your life will no longer be marked by stories of struggle but by testimonies of divine intervention. You will walk with authority, not the kind that boasts of wealth, but the authority of one who has been carried by the hand of heaven and knows that everything belongs to God. This authority will silence doubt in others, inspire faith where hope was dying, and open hearts to believe in miracles that they thought were impossible. You will be a living witness that God still moves, still provides, and still rewards His children. As the sun sets tonight, you will feel the shift not only in your bank account but in your spirit, for peace will wash over you like a river and joy will settle into places in your soul that had long been empty. Fear will lose its grip, worry will dissolve, and the song of gratitude will rise from your lips. This is not temporary relief but lasting transformation, for once God blesses, He does not take away, and once He restores in full measure, pressed down and overflowing. Type Amen if your heart belongs to God, and share this video with 5 faithful friends to receive His blessings and miracles. Let your heart stay open, let your faith remain strong, and let your spirit rejoice, for what has been promised will not fail you. The angels assigned to you are already at work, moving pieces you cannot see, aligning events in ways beyond your comprehension, and clearing the path so that by the hour of 9 this evening, the promise will have reached its destination. Nothing and no one can stop what God has already signed and sealed in heaven. Hold these words deep within you and let them be the anchor that steadies you as you await the unfolding of this miracle. Your money problems end today, your future begins anew, and the evidence of God's love for you will shine so brightly that no shadow of doubt will remain. This is your moment, this is your appointed hour, and this is the miracle you have been waiting for. Type 555 to receive miracles. For many years, you have known what it is to survive on little, to stretch what you had beyond its measure, and to pray quietly when no one could hear the deep cry of your heart. You have known the bitterness of working with all your strength only to feel as if your efforts bore little fruit, and you have walked with shame when others could not see the weight you carried but judged the appearance of your struggle. Yet every single moment of endurance has been counted, every silent tear has been recorded, and every prayer whispered in pain has been heard by the Father who never forgets His children. The blessing now waiting for you is not born of chance, but of divine timing, where every moment of delay is revealed as sacred preparation. God has shaped you in the shadows, molding your heart to understand compassion, humility, and strength, so that when the miracle falls into your life, you will carry it not as a weight of pride but as a mantle of purpose. This is why your miracle is not only wealth, but freedom, restoration, and testimony wrapped in one, a testimony that will echo through generations after you. Tonight, as the appointed hour approaches, you will feel the shift deep within your spirit, as if the very atmosphere around you is changing. Angels of provision are not far, they are near, carrying the wealth of heaven into your life, and they are moving swiftly to fulfill the Father's command. Every obstacle that once stood in the way is already crumbling, every delay is collapsing, and every power of darkness that tried to steal your blessing has been stripped of strength. What God has written cannot be erased, and what He has commanded cannot be stopped. Beloved, imagine the weight you have carried suddenly falling from your back, leaving you lighter than you have ever been. Imagine waking tomorrow without the fear of debt, without the constant worry of bills, without the shame of not having enough. Imagine rising with peace, joy, and hope filling your heart, knowing that heaven has provided in ways you could never have planned on your own. This is not a dream, this is not an illusion, this is the truth of what is unfolding for you today. The $25 million blessing is not only the end of money problems, but the birth of a calling, for with it you will not only secure your own stability but will lift others from the shadows of poverty into the light of hope. You will become a vessel through which God's love flows, a channel of generosity, and a hand of compassion stretched out to those who once walked the same valley you have endured. This is why your blessing is great, because your destiny is not only survival but abundance that overflows into the lives of many. Your testimony will silence the voice of the enemy, who has whispered for too long that you would never escape lack, never rise above hardship, never see relief. Tonight that voice is silenced, tonight that lie is crushed, tonight truth shines brighter than ever before. You will know, without doubt, that the God who created you has always had plans to prosper you, to protect you, and to carry you into a place where His love is undeniable. As the hour draws near, do not allow doubt to steal what is already yours. Do not let fear take root in your heart, for fear has no power when faith stands firm. Trust fully, for God is faithful, and His word is unshakable. The angels are working, the decree has been signed, and the blessing is traveling swiftly toward you. By the time the clock strikes the appointed hour tonight, you will know that the words spoken over you were not empty promises but divine truth written into your destiny. Type yes to affirm. Take a deep breath and let peace flood your heart, for the days of worry are over, the nights of sleepless tears have ended, and the door to a new life of joy, stability, and freedom has opened wide before you. Step into it with faith, embrace it with gratitude, and walk boldly into the abundance prepared for you. You are chosen, beloved, and this is the miracle that proves it beyond every shadow of doubt. I see the years you spent fighting invisible battles, where money seemed like sand slipping through your fingers no matter how tightly you held it, and where every step forward seemed followed by 2 steps back. Those moments where you felt like giving up, where the pressure of survival crushed your joy, and where you wondered if your prayers were only echoes in the silence were not wasted. They became the very soil from which the roots of your faith grew deeper and stronger, anchoring you for the miracle that has now reached your doorstep. Heaven has aligned this blessing not as a temporary bandage but as a complete transformation, a restoration so vast that it will rewrite the story of your life. Tonight's blessing is the closing of a chapter marked by hardship and the opening of one filled with laughter, peace, and abundance. Every sleepless night you endured is being exchanged for restful peace, every tear you cried is being exchanged for joy, and every fear you carried is being replaced with unshakable faith. Beloved, see the vision clearly, a banquet table spread before you, not just with wealth but with stability, security, and divine joy. The $25 million that is about to enter your life is not simply money, it is the language of God's love speaking loudly over every lie that tried to convince you that you would always be poor, overlooked, or forgotten. This wealth is not just for your needs but is a sign to the world that God still lifts His children from the lowest valleys into the highest mountains. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. This blessing carries a responsibility as much as it carries relief. It is being given to you so that you may become a river through which God's love and compassion will flow. The abundance you receive tonight will not end with you but will spread outward, touching the lives of others who are weary and hopeless. Your story of breakthrough will open the eyes of those who doubt, and your testimony will become a light guiding others to trust the God who provides beyond measure. The enemy will tremble when he sees what is being placed into your hands, for his plan to keep you bound by fear and lack has failed completely. The chains he tried to wrap around your finances are broken, the doors he tried to lock are wide open, and the curse of insufficiency has been torn apart. Tonight you will stand free, not only in body but in spirit, and you will carry the joy of knowing that no power of darkness could stop what God had already decided for you. Beloved, hold this promise close as the hours pass today. When your heart begins to fear, remind yourself that God has already signed the order of blessing with your name on it. When doubt tries to whisper, remember that the angels are already in motion, carrying the miracle from heaven into your life. Nothing can delay it, nothing can block it, and nothing can take it away once it has been released into your hands. This is your appointed hour, and heaven does not miss its appointments. Type 777 if you walk by faith. You will feel the change not only in your circumstances but deep within your soul. The fear of lack that once haunted you will vanish like smoke in the wind, replaced with the calm assurance that God is your provider. The stress that weighed down your body will lift, the constant worry will dissolve, and your heart will finally know rest. You will rise tomorrow into a life transformed, no longer defined by struggle but by abundance, generosity, and freedom. Every person who once doubted you, every voice that mocked your struggle, will see the undeniable hand of God at work in your life. They will not be able to explain it, but they will witness it, and your blessing will testify louder than words ever could. Through you, the world will see that God is faithful, and that He lifts up those who hold on, even when their strength is nearly gone. So prepare yourself with faith and gratitude, for by the evening hour of 9 the promise will unfold before your eyes. Heaven has written it, the angels have confirmed it, and God Himself has declared it so. You are chosen, you are loved, and you are stepping into a miracle so vast that it will change not only your life but the lives of many who will be touched through you. You have walked a long road filled with trials that tested the very fabric of your faith, nights where you wondered if your prayers were only words lost in the silence, and mornings where the weight of responsibility pressed harder than your strength could bear. Yet in all these moments you did not break, for even when you felt weak, God carried you, even when you thought you had been forgotten, His eyes never left you, and even when you thought your tears had no meaning, they watered the soil for the harvest you are now about to reap. The wealth that heaven is about to place in your hands is not the reward of luck, nor is it a gift without purpose. It is the answer to countless prayers, the fulfillment of promises spoken long ago, and the proof that God is a Father who delights in caring for His children. The $25 million blessing is not simply a number, it is a symbol of restoration, a seal of victory over years of hardship, and a sign to the world that faith is never wasted when it is placed in the One who cannot fail. Imagine your life without the constant weight of financial fear, where the sound of bills demanding to be paid no longer haunts your peace, and where the shame of insufficiency no longer hides in the corners of your heart. Tonight marks that transition, for by the time the clock reaches the hour of 9 your testimony will shift from struggle to abundance, and you will stand as a living witness that God's timing is perfect, His mercy is endless, and His provision is greater than any imagination. Beloved, this blessing is not being given to you only for comfort but also for calling. You will become a vessel through which God's generosity flows, a light shining for those who still walk in the shadows of lack. The abundance will allow you to stretch your hands toward others with compassion, to become the answer to prayers they whisper in their own midnight hours, and to show them that God hears, remembers, and provides. Through your story, others will find courage to believe again. Type 333 to welcome blessings. The enemy worked tirelessly to convince you that you would always remain in scarcity, that your future was chained to poverty, and that your prayers would never be answered. But tonight his lies are shattered, for the proof of God's goodness will not be hidden any longer. Every weapon formed against you is broken, every curse of insufficiency is destroyed, and every barrier that stood between you and your blessing has been removed by the authority of heaven. The angels are already moving with precision, carrying your miracle from the throne of God into your life, and no force can stop them, for they move under the command of the Almighty. The journey of this blessing is nearly complete, and as the evening hour arrives it will settle into your life like a key fitting into a long-awaited lock, opening doors you once believed were forever shut. The sound of those doors opening will echo in your spirit as freedom, peace, and joy take their rightful place in your heart. Do not let fear rise within you as the hour draws close, for fear has no power when the word of God has already been spoken. Let your heart be filled with gratitude, let your spirit remain anchored in faith, and let your lips carry songs of thanksgiving even before your eyes see the miracle. For true faith is not in waiting for proof but in knowing the proof is already guaranteed by the one who promised. When others hear of your blessing, some will marvel, some will doubt, and some will envy, but none will be able to deny that it was the hand of God. And as they watch your life change, may they also see your humility, your generosity, and your unwavering testimony that all glory belongs to Him. You will be lifted not just to enjoy abundance but to glorify the name of the Lord in everything you do, and this will bring light to countless souls who have lost their hope. So rise with courage, beloved, and stand tall, for your season of lack has ended, your new chapter of abundance has begun, and tonight the heavens will confirm it with the miracle already written for you. Hold fast to this truth, for nothing can reverse what God has declared, and nothing can take away what has been delivered by His hand. Your money problems are over, your future is secured, and your destiny is overflowing with blessings. You have walked faithfully even when your path was covered in shadows, giving when you had little, choosing kindness when you felt empty, and clinging to hope when all around you whispered despair. Heaven has watched, heaven has recorded, and heaven has responded. This is why today is not ordinary but divinely appointed, a day written long ago as the day when your money problems would bow before the power of God's promise, and your life would be clothed in abundance that cannot be measured by earthly standards alone. The $25 million blessing is not only an answer to your own needs but also the birth of a divine assignment. You are being entrusted with more than wealth, you are being entrusted with a calling to bring light into the darkness of others who still suffer silently. Your abundance will feed the hungry, clothe the poor, and restore dignity to those who have forgotten how to hope. The miracle is for you, but through you it will echo far and wide, becoming a testimony that God is still moving, still providing, still healing, and still loving His children without limit. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. Think of how many years the enemy whispered that you would never escape debt, that you would always be trapped in survival, that you would never see the fullness of God's promise. Those lies crumble today, for by the evening hour the undeniable proof will sit before your eyes. Every voice of doubt is silenced, every chain of insufficiency is broken, and every wall that stood in the way has already fallen. Tonight, you will breathe in the freedom of provision, and your heart will finally rest in the assurance that your Father never fails. Beloved, picture yourself standing at the edge of a river, watching as the waters rise higher and higher until they overflow into your life, filling every dry place, washing away every fear, and nourishing every dream that once felt impossible. That is the image of what is about to take place. This blessing is not a trickle of survival but a flood of abundance, and once it begins it will not stop, for God does not bless halfway. He completes what He begins, and tonight you will know the joy of His completion. Your story will inspire others, not because of the size of the blessing alone, but because of the faith you held onto when nothing seemed to change. Many who hear of your miracle will find the courage to believe in their own breakthrough, and many who see your transformation will be reminded that God's timing is never late, His promises never fail, and His mercy is always greater than the struggle. Through you, countless hearts will be drawn back to the Father. The angels are already near, arranging the final details of your blessing with care, moving people, opportunities, and circumstances into perfect alignment so that nothing is out of place when the hour of 9 arrives. Even now, what you cannot see is being ordered by the wisdom of heaven, and what seems hidden is already unfolding in the unseen. Trust this process, for it is guided by the hands of the one who loves you beyond measure. Beloved, let peace replace the fear that has lived in your heart for too long. Let joy take the place of sorrow, and let hope stand tall where despair once ruled. You are stepping into the fulfillment of a promise written before you were born, a promise sealed with the love of God and delivered by His mighty hand. Tonight will not only change your circumstances but will change the way you see yourself, for you will no longer see yourself as one struggling to survive, but as one chosen, beloved, and abundantly provided for. Do not let the shadows of doubt rob you in these final hours. Do not give the enemy room to whisper lies, for his time is finished and his hold on your life has been broken. Stand tall, breathe deeply, and hold on to the truth that the blessing is already yours. You are not waiting for it to be decided, you are simply waiting for it to arrive. Heaven has already chosen you, and nothing on earth or in darkness can reverse that choice. So prepare your heart, beloved, for the miracle that will unfold tonight. Your money problems will no longer define you, your past struggles will no longer haunt you, and your story will be rewritten with joy, abundance, and victory. By the close of this day you will know, without a shadow of doubt, that God has heard, God has remembered, and God has answered. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. For too long, beloved, you have lived beneath clouds of pressure that drained your strength and tried to steal your joy. You endured countless nights of tossing in silence, staring into the dark with questions in your heart, wondering how much longer you could endure. Yet though the nights were long and though the weight was great, your faith remained like a candle that refused to go out, and heaven took notice of every flicker of that flame. Not a single tear you shed has been wasted, and not a single prayer you whispered has been forgotten, for all were carried into the presence of God who never forsakes His children. The promise now reaching you is not a sudden chance but the result of divine orchestration. God has been shaping events behind the veil of time, aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances so that at this exact moment His glory could be revealed in your life. You may not have seen the movement, but the unseen hand of God has been active all along, writing a story far greater than the struggles you faced. Tonight is the chapter where pain turns into purpose, and where hardship is swallowed by the abundance of heaven. This blessing is not about numbers alone, but about restoration and healing. With it comes freedom from the shame of unpaid bills, the quiet guilt of feeling like you failed, and the exhaustion of chasing after stability that always seemed to slip away. In its place will come the dignity of knowing you are cared for, the peace of knowing provision has arrived, and the joy of knowing that the Father has chosen to lift you into a place of security and overflow. Beloved, imagine walking into a tomorrow where fear no longer dictates your decisions, where your heart is not clenched every time you think of the future, and where you rise in the morning with gratitude instead of dread. Imagine not only having enough for yourself but being able to give freely to those who need it most, watching their tears turn to laughter because of the blessing you extended from your abundance. This is the reality that God is placing in your hands tonight, and it is a reality that will transform not only you but many around you. Your life will become a living message, a testimony that faith endures and that God's timing is never late. When others see how your circumstances change, they will understand that miracles are not a story of the past but a truth of the present, alive and active for those who believe. You will inspire faith in the hopeless, courage in the weary, and joy in those who thought joy had abandoned them forever. Through your story, the light of God will shine brighter into the world. The enemy tried to convince you that your story would always be about poverty, that you were cursed to remain in lack, and that your prayers would never be answered. But tonight those lies are shattered beyond repair, for heaven has spoken louder than every whisper of darkness, and the truth of God's love is standing firm before you. The chains are broken, the curse is destroyed, and the way forward is cleared for you to step into the destiny that was written for you all along. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. The angels are closer than you know, carrying your miracle with care, and even now they are arranging every detail so that the blessing falls into your life with perfection. The alignment is already in motion, and by the time the appointed hour arrives, nothing will remain unfinished. You will see the power of God unfold in ways that no human effort could ever achieve, and you will know that this miracle was born not of chance but of divine purpose. So hold steady in these final hours, keeping your heart open and your spirit grateful. Do not give in to fear, for fear has already been defeated, and do not allow doubt to rise, for doubt cannot survive in the presence of God's truth. You are not waiting to be chosen, you have already been chosen, and the miracle is already written with your name upon it. Tonight it will simply manifest into the visible world, and your life will never again look the same. Beloved, lift your eyes with hope, for this is your moment. Your money struggles are finished, your future is secure, and your heart will finally rest in the peace that comes from knowing you are fully loved, fully remembered, and fully provided for. Tonight the heavens will prove once again that God is faithful, and you will carry this testimony for the rest of your life. You have carried the scars of hardship quietly, often hiding the weight of your pain from those around you so they would not see how tired your heart had become. You gave strength when you were weary, you showed smiles when you were hurting, and you offered kindness when your own soul needed comfort. Heaven has seen every hidden sacrifice, and nothing has been overlooked. Those moments were not forgotten, they were stored as treasures in God's heart, and today those treasures are being returned to you in the form of provision beyond imagination. This blessing is not meant to simply patch the wounds of your past but to rewrite the very direction of your future. The season of scraping and striving has ended, and the season of stability, peace, and joy has begun. You will no longer live in the shadow of fear wondering how the next need will be met, because God Himself has prepared a table before you, filled with more than enough to sustain you, your household, and many others who will be touched by your overflow. Beloved, understand this clearly: abundance from God is never empty or shallow. It comes clothed in purpose, wrapped in love, and filled with opportunity to bless others. The $25 million you are about to receive is more than wealth. It is a holy assignment, a mantle of provision that will allow you to rise as a beacon of generosity. Through you, God's light will shine into places where despair has lingered for too long, and through your testimony, many will learn that faith is never wasted, even in the darkest nights. The angels of provision are already near, their wings stirring the air around your life, preparing every step so that the blessing arrives exactly at the appointed time. What once seemed blocked is now wide open, what once felt delayed is now accelerated, and what once looked impossible is now unfolding with precision. You will see doors open that you did not knock on, opportunities arise that you did not chase, and miracles manifest in ways you never expected, for God's plan is always greater than human imagination. Type 1414 to step into divine protection. Think of how far you have come, beloved. The nights of tears, the days of frustration, the years of wondering if things would ever change, all of it has brought you here, to the threshold of divine overflow. You will soon see that not one moment of suffering was wasted, because each moment prepared you to handle this blessing with wisdom and humility. Without the struggle, you would not understand the depth of God's mercy, but now you will walk in abundance with gratitude so deep it will never fade. The enemy fought fiercely to keep you from this moment, surrounding you with lies that said you were forgotten, cursed, or unworthy. But tonight those lies will be silenced forever, because nothing can stop what God has already decreed. The curse of lack is broken, the chain of fear is destroyed, and the story of your life is being rewritten by the hand of the Almighty. You will stand not as a victim of circumstance but as a living witness that God lifts the humble and exalts the faithful. Beloved, prepare your heart for peace like you have never known. The anxiety that has clouded your days will vanish, the stress that weighed on your body will lift, and the hopelessness that haunted your nights will dissolve. In its place will rise joy that cannot be contained, gratitude that overflows, and faith that is stronger than steel. This will be your new reality, a reality born not of human effort but of divine love. Your testimony will shine brighter than words ever could. Family, friends, and even strangers will witness the change in your life and will know that it was not man who lifted you but God. Some will marvel, some will doubt, but none will be able to deny the truth that heaven's hand has touched your life. Through your story, many will find the courage to turn their hearts back to God, believing again in His power to provide and His love to restore. So hold fast to this promise in these final hours, for the miracle is already moving toward you. By the evening hour of 9 your life will be forever transformed, your money struggles will be a memory, and your future will be secured in abundance. You are chosen, beloved, and nothing can take away the blessing that has already been written with your name. Step into it with faith, embrace it with gratitude, and walk boldly into the miracle that is yours.